Hello Cosmic Dragon friends, welcome and welcome back. We are going to have a look today at a message from your crush. So if there's somebody you're interested in, you have a crush on, maybe you've already interacted with them a little bit, you'd like to know what they think, you'd like to know what they would say to you if they were able to say something without being inhibited, or if they have a secret message for you. This is the energy we're looking at here today. Now remember, we do have to stay realistic with these readings. You know, if you're asking about a celebrity or someone you're likely to never meet, bear in mind this might not be very accurate for you. Okay, you know, we can try and cheat the system, but it won't work. So we're going to look at your crush today to see what they would like to say to you. So we've got 5 piles of cards here for you to choose from. Pile number 1, we have a rose quartz heart. Pile number 2, we have the amethyst heart here. Pile number 3 is Aventurine heart, the green there, very soft green. Oops. Pile number 4, we have Lapis Lazuli heart. And pile number 5, we have a tiger's eye heart. So take a moment, gaze at the piles, see which one you feel most drawn to. You might be drawn to 2 or 3. That's absolutely okay as well. You can watch 1, 2 or 3 if you want to. You can watch all 5 if you really want, but you know, that may not be the best way to get any sort of accurate reading. Remember, this is a group reading, so take the elements that resonate for you, leave the bits that don't. It's not the same as having a personal reading. So see which pile you feel drawn to, or piles you feel drawn to, and go to the timestamps in the description below, and I'll see you in your reading. So hello pile 1, you've chosen the pile of cards with it's quite a pale rose quartz heart here. It is actually rose quartz. It's hard to see. I know it looks a little bit white. I'll put that over there with another rather pale piece of rose quartz. They can sit together. So we'll have a look at your cards now. We're going to have a look at the spiritual connection between you and your crush and see what's going on there. So transformation, expansion. Wow, looks like they've got a lot going on in their life at the moment. Give your relationship a chance, and calling in your soulmate. Okay, some interesting cards to start with here. It really does feel like if your crush could talk to you right now, they would say, I'm going through a lot right now. With this one, I feel like they may be working on various different areas of their life at the moment. They could be you know, looking at their career. They could be really focusing on other aspects of their life, like their career, like money, like where they live, like improving their circumstances. It could be their spiritual journey as well. They may be very deeply into their spirituality at the moment, and perhaps it isn't quite the right moment for them. For some of you, I definitely feel this could be right person at the wrong time, and that can be a little bit annoying when we have that situation, but it can also give you information that this could be somebody for the future, because there is this card, give your relationship a chance. I feel like there could be a potential with this person, with your crush. I think there is a potential. They would like to, but I feel they're working on other things at the moment. I do feel they may be working on themselves. They may be in therapy, or that may be you that's actually working on yourself. You know, you may be in counselling at the moment, because it does feel like they kind of need to come up and meet you, if that makes sense. It feels like maybe energetically they're not quite at your level at the moment. Maybe they need to work on that, or maybe it's you that's working on that at the moment, and it feels like energetically you would be a match soon. So calling in your soulmate. It does feel that this is a lovely card. I mean, it is about, you know, prayers, affirmations, visualizations, helping to bring you together. That can be very helpful. So I feel it would be useful for you to actually intend to speak to them on a telepathic level, intend to send them like a message, a nice message, you know, nothing mean, nothing difficult, no demands or anything. Maybe just send them a message of love and support, let them know that you're there telepathically, or you may have already done that, or you may have actually conversed with their higher self in your dreams already, or in your meditation, in your spiritual practice. I do find with people, they can turn up in dreams or in meditation, when you're talking to someone's higher self. Certainly for me, they turn up wearing white, and that's how I know I'm talking to a much higher aspect of that actual person rather than the lower aspect. So I don't expect them to know that that conversation has happened or to be aware of any aspect of it, but I feel there are communications happening between the two of you on a higher level for many of you. And if you're not aware of that, or if you're not sure that's happening, you know, by all means send them some sort of telepathic message. And you can do that just by intending it, just by intending, you know, maybe sit quietly for a moment and say what it is you would like them to know. You know, maybe just say, I would like you to reach out to me, or, you know, whatever it is. And they will actually hear that on some level. But it does feel like they are going through a period of growth themselves at the moment. And I think that's what they would want you to know if they could speak to you, if they had the opportunity to talk to you. Or, you know, this person might not really know you at the moment. They might not know you at all. You know, it might be somebody you admire from a distance that you don't know particularly well. But it does feel like they have a lot going on a spiritual level, and they're about to enter a new phase of their life. And I think in this new phase, and I want to say within, I've got the number 5 coming up, I want to say 5 months. So perhaps 5 months from now. Obviously this is a group reading, so the timescale isn't going to apply to everybody, but I'm going to give you 5 because it could be 5 weeks, 5 days, 5 months. I'm feeling 5 months. That's what I'm drawn to. Around the 5-month mark, I feel they will be entering a new phase of their life. Okay, and with that new phase brings the possibility to actually enter into relationship, or enter into a new relationship, or to make some big changes when it comes to emotion, because we've got this number 19 over here, and 19 melts and disappears and becomes 20. Okay, which takes us into a much more feminine and emotional energy here as well. So while I would always say, you know, don't get obsessed with somebody, that's not healthy. And if you think you are getting unhealthily obsessed in a relationship, maybe it is time to talk to a counsellor and see if there's some underlying trauma or something that makes you do that, because that can make you very unhappy, very unhealthy. But it does feel like perhaps a ceremony or just sending a message to them on a telepathic level could be helpful, just to give them a nudge in your direction, to let them know on a higher level that you are here, that you are perhaps available or waiting for them. And that can certainly help to grease the wheels energetically. So we're just going to ask what else your crush would like to say to you. What are the messages they have for you? Let's take a look at these cards here. This is the Spirit Animal Oracle. I use this one a lot. It's gorgeous. By Colette Baron Reid. Oh, you want to come out, don't you? I know you do. Okay. Right. So we have Stag Spirit, take the lead on 58. Swan Spirit, 60, time for a deep dive. And Otter Spirit, you were never alone on 42. Oh, that's gorgeous. Really, really lovely energy there. So I do want to say with these cards, it's interesting with the Stag Spirit. I mean, this one normally talks about taking the lead, but here I want to say actually don't. I want to say, yeah, it doesn't feel like it would be quite right for you to ask this person out or to make a move at this point in time. Because I feel like this person has been pushed about quite a lot when it comes to relationships, or perhaps in their life generally. Perhaps they have a very overbearing mother, or they had a very overbearing partner, or maybe they're still with a partner who pushes them around, and there's a lot of resentfulness, I feel, towards people who do that to them coming from this person. And I think it's important to be aware of that when you approach them. I think this person has many hidden depths that a lot of people don't know about. And I mean more than just on the average. This could be a Scorpio. It's very, very deep energy here. Or maybe another water sign, but that's the one that comes to mind for me. Possibly an Aquarius, because they've got a very interesting energy with this kind of like starseed energy. They're like the world exploding. I feel this person could be a starseed, or maybe you're a starseed, or both, because there is that theme going on here, definitely. But with the Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive, I really feel like this person has hidden depth, hidden knowledge, hidden wisdom. They could be a little bit older than you. There could be an age gap here, I want to say on 60, but also there's a lot of wisdom in them, a lot of wisdom, even if they're not acting it out at the moment. And that's why they're going through this period of growth. I feel they've had a lot of learning just recently. And it has been challenging for them. I'd say it's either a person who's quite a bit older than you, or it's like an old head on younger shoulders. There's a deep wisdom and a deep love and kindness that comes through with them. This is a very compassionate person I want to talk about here, very compassionate person. So much going on beneath the surface that other people don't recognise. And I think perhaps you do. Maybe you do see that in them. Maybe you recognise that and you think, wow, that's very attractive. You know, I really like that depth that this person has, these hidden depths. And I want to go to the Otter Spirit. This is such a lovely card. The two otters in the shape of a heart. Absolutely gorgeous on 42. It does say you're never alone. I want to say there is a potential. Again, with 42, I want to say there is a potential. I feel there is a soulmate connection with this person, and that might be why you have that crush on them. You feel that energy connection. There is this soulmate connection here. It feels like you've been together before, and it could have been in a very ancient lifetime, I want to say. Very drawn to an ancient lifetime, maybe a tribal lifetime with them. Very ancient, but ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom comes through. I think when you two are in the same room, sparks fly, and then you might start channeling. You know, it's like literally this person sets your psychic ability on fire. You know, they have that effect on you. You may have that effect on them as well. If you both work as healers, for example, like doing Reiki or something like that, I think if you work together, you could achieve really amazing things. And that's not to say that you are destined necessarily to be together in this lifetime. Unfortunately, that's, you know, it's not always the case. But certainly, looking at the groundwork we have here, there's definitely a very nice potential for a positive relationship for the two of you. You know, if you can find the common ground in this lifetime, if you can find yourselves at the same level at the same moment, because it feels like you're a little bit out of sync. It's like your life is going on over here, there's this happening in a different way over here. They might be going in a slightly different trajectory to you at the moment, or there may be a literal physical distance between you. It may be something that ends up being a potential long-term relationship, long-distance relationship, excuse me. I feel as well this person may not be that good at communicating, so I think it is a relationship that could start out quite slowly. And you may have to resist the temptation to push them. Again, with the Stag Spirit, they got this, there's quite an obstinate energy comes from them, and I think pushing them would not help. It wouldn't get you anywhere. You need to be a little bit more subtle with this person, and they would want you to know that. Use your mind wisely, 47. I feel this person has been fooled before. I feel like they've been made a fool of in love and in relationships, so they are quite wary of that. You know, they thought all their Christmases had come at once at some point, and it turned out that the person was lying, or maybe they were, I don't know, a sociopath or something who led them on a merry dance. And so they have had some difficult times, and there is this real sense of vulnerability that comes through from your crush. Very vulnerable, I want to say, but with deep wisdom. It's like they carry the wisdom of the ages, but they don't know how to implement it in this lifetime. It's that. It's like this great ancient sage, but also in this lifetime they're like a beginner going, what on earth am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing here. Again, it's that starseed energy, that very special soul, very, very special person. So that would be something to bear in mind as well if you wanted to have a relationship with this person. Very, very important to know. What else would they want to say to Pile 1? What else would Pile 1's crush want to say to them? What messages they have for them? Okay. Bat. We've got the Bat Spirit on number 5. A rebirth is assured. Now that's interesting, the number 5 coming in. I had the number 5 for timing, and I'm going to take that as confirmation. So a rebirth is assured. Yes, I really feel like they are, like with the transformation card just behind it here, I really feel like they are going through a phase of transition at the moment. They are making some big changes in their life, and they are about to start again. Okay, I want to say around the 5-month mark from whenever you're watching this reading, they may be about to start again. It is a big fresh start for them, so I think patience would be needed, but also there's a feeling of them being alone, so it might be that they're literally leaving a relationship or leaving a difficult situation, maybe even leaving home if they're a little bit younger. But it does feel like they are trying to prepare for life. It's like they're trying to get ready for life or for the next phase of their life at the moment. They are trying to get their ducks in a row right now. That seems very, very important to them. So it's not the easiest phase right now. And I feel like the best way that you can help at this point in time is to send them love and compassion, you know, to send healing angels to them, whatever they need, but no manipulation. Okay, I feel like if this person even gets a wind of a sniff of you know, manipulation happening from your part, they will not be interested. That will be a big red flag to them. That will be very, very off-putting, I think. So, okay. I'm going to bring in the Unicorn Oracle now. I just want to see what else they would want you to know, what other messages they would have for you. Let's have a look. So, pile one's crush. What else they need to know? What other messages they have? Okay. Healer, yes. You are gifted. Exercise. Worth waiting for, yeah. Just be yourself, yeah. Okay. So, there is this natural healer energy that comes through in this reading, and that could be you, could be them, or it could be both of you. I suspect very strongly it's both of you, and I think that's where the attraction lies, because I feel like you're both quite special souls in this lifetime. I'm not going to say indigo, because that was just one generation of souls. There are many other different types of souls that are very sensitive, very empathic, very special. There are the rainbows, the crystals, all kinds of other souls, and we kind of get caught up in names because we're human beings, and that's what we do. You know, the names don't really matter at the end of the day. They really don't. That's just for our benefit, and I think as human beings we can really overthink it. But definitely a healer. It could be that they already do Reiki or some other energy healing or some sort of healing modality. They could work in a healing profession. They're highly empathic, very gifted psychically, I would say. With the gifted card, yes, it's gifted generally, but I want to say gifted psychically, whether they know it or not, whether they use it or not, whether, you know, whether it's mediumship, whether it's psychic ability, whether it's just sensing things that are wrong with people. You know, they have that ability, and people who have that ability, very often that's a sign that they come from a background of trauma. So they may have experienced great suffering in the past as well, which would certainly make a lot of sense from what we're seeing here. I also think that this person will like you just as you are. Okay, this is not a person who wants people to be fake. I think they have quite a strong bullshit detector, if you'll excuse my language. And they would not appreciate people who put on any kind of fake or false face, put on a mask, you know, pretend to be something they're not. They really don't appreciate that. So I want to say, yes, it's safe for you to be yourself around them. Be the true you, be the whole you as well. Let them see the magical, mystical aspects of you as well, if you know, if that's part of your personality, which I think it may be. And yes, worth waiting for. I felt there could be a waiting period for this person. It feels like maybe they're not quite ready at the moment, okay, but they could be further on down the line. If you're still available at that time, you know, that you may have found someone else before then, and that's okay, or you might not be that interested. Exercise, body movement, yes. I want to go to yoga with that as well. This could be somebody you literally know through a spiritual practice like yoga, or through a physical practice like Tai Chi or something like that. But it does feel like that is something they would enjoy, so maybe something to look into, or maybe you could sort of accidentally on purpose bump into them at their yoga class or something like that, you know. And that's not manipulation, that's okay. That's absolutely okay, because it's okay to let them notice you. All right. Right, so we're just going to have a look at the romance oracle here, see what else we've got about the energy between you, anything else they would want you to know, any other messages they might have for you. Let's see. What have we got for pile one, please? So, completion and fulfillment, 66. That's interesting. Marriage and divorce, yeah. So they could be going through a divorce right now. I felt they could actually be in a relationship already, and they're just trying to maybe finalise a divorce. Maybe they're separated and they're just trying to sort their life out right now, and you kind of need to leave them to it for the moment. Long-term relationship. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They do want a serious relationship. This is not somebody who wants something flash in the pan. They don't want to be taken advantage of on the short term. This could be somebody who has a lot of money also, who doesn't necessarily trust very easily. Completion and fulfillment, yeah. It does feel like they are completing a phase of their life right now. Okay. It feels like they have already achieved certain things in this lifetime as well, I want to say. Psychic connection, definitely. Divine timing, yes. Yeah, you really have to wait for divine timing with this one. So again, it could be right person, wrong time, which is frustrating. But when that happens, sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes it's just not the right person for this lifetime. That's not to say it couldn't happen. You know, I'm not saying no on this one. I'm just saying it could be, for some of you watching, it could be right person, wrong time. And that's not to say they won't pop up later on down the line. But psychic connection, yes, very strong psychic connection between the two of you. You could already be aware of that. They might already be aware that there's something at the back of their mind. They might not know who you are. They might know who you are, but they might not have made the connection yet. I feel like they already know there's somebody waiting for them, even if they're not sure who it is. So that's very interesting. But this person wants a long-term relationship. All right. They don't want to mess around. They don't want to be messed around. They've done that. They've had enough of that. Okay. So what would they say to pile 1 if they could? Let's see. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Beautiful. A new beginning. Oh, well, there we go. Yeah. That's a nice potential for this one, I have to say. That's a very nice potential, pile 1. A new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. That's encouraging. I would say that's a very encouraging message to get from your person's energy, from your crush's energy. Very, very interesting to see that. They are about to have this new beginning, like I was saying, you know, and that new beginning could involve you. Anything else? This one. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. So it feels like you kind of already know what the potential is with this person. All right, so I would say go with that. Trust your intuition. Yeah. Playfulness. Beautiful. Laughter is the best therapy. Have some fun together, and remember, love is the greatest healer. So again, there's that word healer coming up. I do feel like you could actually do healing work together. That could be something to come in the future. But yes, certainly, I feel like this person, when they're ready, right now they really need a break. Okay, they're just trying to get some things together. They're coming to the end of this phase in their life. They're about to enter a new one, so they've got to get all the ducks in a row. They've got to, you know, sort some things out. So they're going to need some downtime. They're going to need to have fun. They're going to want to look to somebody who is fun, not too serious, not too difficult, not too, you know, not somebody who picks fights with them all the time, not someone who's too intense and boring or, you know, lazy, just wants to sit around doing nothing. Someone fun, someone playful. And the exercise card came up, so it could be that this person is really quite dynamic or quite energetic, and you may need to bear that in mind. Okay, you know, for example, I'll tell you, I matched on a dating site one time with a guy who did all of these outdoor pursuits, and I'm quite outdoorsy, but he messaged me one day and said, "Oh, do you want to come canoeing with me?" And it was 5 a.m. I was in my pajamas. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" No, this is not the person for me. Clearly, we were not a match. Okay, so just be aware of that. If this person has likes to do that kind of thing, be aware of that. They might want you to be into that too, and if you're not, then you know you may have to be aware of that. Either make space for them to do it without you, or, you know, if it's something you're into, that's great. But don't pretend it's something you're into if you're not, because they don't like that. This person really doesn't like being lied to. They don't like being misled. Even if it's with good intentions, they don't like being misled. Okay, they really, really don't. They like people to be very straightforward with them. You know, they could even be on the autistic spectrum or close to it, because they really like people to be very, very straightforward with them. So, let's do some charms. Let's see what other messages we have for pile 1 about their crush. Let's see anything else I can bring out here for you. Oh, that's quite a few. So we have, oh, little birdie. I'm trying to pick that one up, little birdie. That's a very cute little bird. Looks like a finch or something. Okay. So there's a little bird, but he seems to be, doesn't have any legs for some reason. But he's also not flying away. So, yeah, this person isn't going anywhere, is what I want to say. There could be an actual connection. I mean, with any of these symbols, if that means something specifically to you, you know, take that meaning for you, because it could have a very specific meaning for somebody watching. Remember, this is a group reading. Then we have the rocking horse. Yeah, it does feel like they're kind of not going anywhere at the moment. They're just sorting some things out. They're not about to go anywhere. Okay, you just need to give them the time that they need to do what they need to do at the moment, go through what they need to go through at the moment. They're not going anywhere. Okay, the rocking horse doesn't go anywhere. It just goes backwards and forwards. Okay, it moves about a lot, but it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't leave the room. And this little bird isn't going anywhere. He's not flying. He hasn't got any legs, so he's definitely not walking anywhere either. Okay, so I think it could be safe to wait for this person. Also, we have the love arrow here as well. So, and that's pointing pointing towards the past. So this could be somebody who noticed you in the past, or it could have been somebody you were interested in the past, or could have been interested in you in the past even, but it didn't go anywhere. Okay. But it could be about to go somewhere. But that's quite a strong, passionate symbol when the arrow shows up. You know, Cupid's arrow showing up. That's quite that's a symbol of a strong potential for passion there. So we have a CND in a heart shape, which is rather lovely, kind of hippie energy coming through here. So again, they could be involved in the holistic world, the alternative medicine, alternative wellness, alternative living, you know, the very natural kind of thing I'm into really with Angel Wings Holistics, you know. They may be very interested in diet, lifestyle, staying very healthy and doing things in a very natural way. They could have a bit of hippie tendencies going on there. Then we have a bat, so very mysterious. Again, I've going back to the Scorpio energy, so that could be somewhere they could have some interesting Scorpio placements in their chart. And the owl, that great wisdom coming through as well. Great wisdom. This is definitely a wise person who does hide, and I think they do have the strong psychic vision, because obviously bats can fly around in the dark with great ease, and they don't need to be able to see because they use sonar. So very interesting energy here for you, pile one. I hope that was helpful. If you feel drawn to watch another pile, please do. I'm also drawn to pile 2. I haven't actually read it yet, but pile 2 popped into my mind right at the beginning, so I'm going to give you that one. You might want to continue watching now. Go on to pile 2. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a like, leave me a comment if there's something you'd like to share with us all. Please remember to be respectful if you leave a comment. We're all human beings. Let's try to be kind and loving to each other. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you very soon. You take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye. So hello pile 2, you've chosen the pile of cards with the Amethyst heart. We will pop your heart over here. And let's take a look at these cards. Let's see what the spiritual connection is and what's actually going on under the surface when it comes to your crush. So we have number 6, grounding. We have number 15, sensitivity. Now that is interesting because numerologically we have a link between these two cards. 15, 1 plus 5 reduces to 6. So 15, 6 would appear to be quite a strong theme for the person that you're interested in for your crush. So on these cards we have 15 sensitivity and 6 grounding. Yes, which is interesting because in ways they are two opposites. This person feels very psychic and very sensitive, but also needs to ground, needs to keep their feet on the ground. And I feel this person gets swept away when it comes to love and romance. I feel this person, we could be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra here, or somebody under the influence of Venus, because they really get swept away by their emotions, possibly Pisces influence as well in their chart. And I feel they may be a little bit of a slave to their emotions sometimes. So first of all, that's where I want to start out for this person. That may be something you're aware of about them, it may not be. Or that may be you rather than them. Because remember, this is a group reading. So take the elements that make sense, that resonate for you, and leave the ones that don't. So our next cards, we have You Deserve Love and Let Go of Control Issues. Yeah, I think this person really goes with the flow in the relationships. Yeah, and I don't think you could pin them down if you wanted to. You really couldn't. You definitely can't force anything with this person. I feel they could have some codependent tendencies. I feel this person could have some codependent tendencies. They may struggle with their mental health somewhat. They may struggle being overly attached to perhaps the wrong people, not having their feet on the ground when they get into relationships. Because with the You Deserve Love card, I feel there is a sense of unworthiness coming quite strongly from this person, which isn't uncommon, unfortunately, you know, in this day and age in our society. Not uncommon at all for somebody to not feel deserving of love or of compassion, kindness, or just to not feel worthy generally. And I think this could be where this person is coming from, and it can really help you to potentially understand them better if you can be aware of that fact. But I do feel as well like this person is trying to get their act together. They are trying to make positive changes in their life as well. I feel they could be aware that there have been some toxic patterns in their past and some toxic people in their past, and they really need to sort that out now. You know, they really need to get a better handle on how relationships are supposed to go, what they're supposed to look like, what they're supposed to feel like as well. And I feel there is unresolved trauma that they have been making an attempt to heal one way or another. So for some people it could be more successfully than others, obviously depending on the route that they've chosen to do that. But very earthly connection here. There is an earthly connection. I mean, this person could be working as a psychic or a medium, to be honest. And it's interesting, when I finished pile 1, I said I had an inkling that there was a connection between pile 1 and pile 2. So you may also feel drawn to go back and watch pile 1. So I'm just going to invite you to do that if that resonates for you. It won't do for everyone. There really is a psychic sensitivity here, possibly an angelic connection. I mean, they could actually look quite angelic as well. They could really have just, you know, the features, sometimes they just look a little bit out of this world, a little bit divine. Very, very special person. This is a very special soul, a very sensitive soul, and I think you need to be very, very gentle, and I think they would want you to know that. Please be gentle with me. Please be gentle with my heart. This person needs your compassion. They need your love. They need your kindness. I also feel this person could be recently coming out of a very difficult relationship, perhaps with a controlling person, or perhaps they were too controlling and paranoid in the relationship, but I feel it was probably the other person rather than them. I feel they could be getting out of a very difficult relationship at the moment, and there is really this need to reassert themselves, reassert their sovereignty, or they could literally be getting out of prison. You know, they may have been incarcerated. There's this need to put these bad habits behind them, these bad patterns behind them. For some people it's literally that they've taken very much the wrong turn in their life, very much the wrong turn, and they're trying to put their life back on the right path, shall we say. But I feel they could have been led astray, and that's not to excuse any bad behaviour or wrong choices, because, you know, we have to take full responsibility for our choices and actions, and there are consequences for our choices and actions, and I think this person's found that out the hardest way possible, okay, in some respect or in some aspect of their lives. Of course it plays out differently for everyone, but they have such a big heart and it's so sad. It does make me very, very sad, but I think this person isn't as broad-minded as you are. Okay, I feel like perhaps they don't see all of the potential in the world. They don't see all of the good in the world. I think they may have quite a narrow view of how things are. Perhaps maybe they're a little bit pessimistic as well. They might not be as positive perhaps as you are. They might have quite a negative worldview, and that's quite sad there. Yeah, but so sensitive. Definitely healing is needed for this person. So if you were going to do anything right now, send them healing, send them love. Okay, let's take a look at the animal spirit oracle here. So what does pile 2's crush want to say to them? What messages they have for them? What do they want them to know? All right. Oops, you want to come out, don't you? Okay. So we have skunk spirit, know your worth. Yes, so definitely some self-worth stuff coming up here, and this could be applicable to you as well, not just them. It may be something that you mirror in each other, and that could be part of the attraction, part of the connection here. The giraffe spirit, 29, see the bigger picture. Yeah, I really don't think they see the bigger picture in life. I think they have quite a narrow worldview. Those are words I'm given. And electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. Okay. So I feel this person could be coming from a difficult upbringing, like I said, or they could have struggled with addictions, with something like that, with crime, making really bad decisions in their own life in the past. But it really comes from a lack of sense of self-worth, because they might literally think they're a skunk. You know, that nobody wants to spend time with them because they're this horrible stinky animal that nobody likes and nobody trusts, and nobody wants to get too near in case the stench comes off, you know, onto them. And they may feel really outcast. There's definitely an outcast energy with the skunk. But of course, skunks are not outcasts amongst their own kind. So 54.9. I think they are learning that now, and I think that phase of their life has either come to an end or it is coming to an end now. I don't think that's going to be their reality moving forwards. And I do think they need somebody to inspire them right now. It feels almost like they're looking for a muse. They're looking for somebody to inspire them, to show them what the world can actually be like, what relationships can actually be like, what love can look like. And I think that's what they would really like from a relationship. That's the life they would like to build. They would like to believe there is more to life, that it can be more beautiful, more wonderful, that they have much more potential. Or maybe the potential they were told they had as a child and they just didn't really know how to make it come being, because maybe they didn't have the support structure, maybe they didn't have the financial resources or the emotional support to actually do and achieve the things that they wanted to do. Certainly I feel like they had a bit of a difficult beginning in life, a bit of a difficult upbringing. And of course, that won't be the case for everybody. You know, this is a group reading, but I feel one way or another it wasn't quite ideal and their self-esteem took a big hit. And that could be losing a parent very young. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that their parents were bad. They may have lost a parent. They may have been orphaned. They may have been adopted. They may have very, very deep abandonment wounds. You know, and that can lead to very deep feelings of being unworthy. And that's very sad. And with the giraffe as well, that also speaks to me. For me personally, that actually connects to, you know, possible abuse in childhood. To me, that is an indicator of that. Possibly they have a narcissistic parent or an abusive parent, or maybe they've struggled with narcissistic abuse, you know, in relationships. Maybe they're just getting out of a relationship with a narcissistic partner. Maybe they've recently been with one, and it's difficult for them. And I think that's why they have this very narrow worldview, that they would really like somebody to smash for them and show them what the world really is. I really think, like, I feel like this person hasn't travelled much either. There's this very cooped up feeling with them, and if they have travelled, it's almost like their body went but the mind didn't go with them, if that makes sense, or they stayed in a very narrow kind of worldview. It's almost like when Brits go on holiday, sometimes they go to tourist traps that are basically like somebody constructed a really tacky English tourist trap but they put it in another country. You know the type I mean, like, well, maybe you don't. When people go on holiday and they find places like, I don't know, that are designed specifically for tourists because everything's very familiar to them and it's not too foreign or anything, which is hilarious to me. But it's that kind of energy, you know, wanting things to be very safe and very familiar to them. And again, that may come from a fear of the unknown, very, very deep fear of the unknown there. So, okay, what else does your crush want you to know? What messages do they have for you? Be spirit, sweet results await, and lion spirit, be generous of spirit. You see, I feel like this person has a lot of potential. Okay, and I'm just going to add the caveat here that we shouldn't get together with somebody because we see their potential. We should get together with them because they're the right person already for us. You know, and this is the problem. Some of us have a habit of falling in love with potential rather than the actual person. So I'm just going to insert that little caveat there. But yes, this person does have potential. They are sorting their life out. They are trying to work towards something better for themselves. I feel they are a loving and generous person and they know that they can do better. And on 37, 10, 1, so 37, 3 plus 7 is 10, and then 10 reduces to 1, 1 plus 0 is 1. I do feel like they are having this big shift, this almost like paradigm shift happening at the moment because they want more for themselves. They want to do better. They want to achieve more. The motivation is coming into their life at the moment. And I feel like they will be wanting a relationship soon, if not now, for somebody who will help to support them in that project of improving themselves, improving their life. And I'm really drawn to the moon on some of these cards here. The sort of the circular background here is really showing up to me today. And I don't normally see that in the background. It's just really jumping out at me at the moment. So I feel there's a connection to the moon or the moon cycles coming through strongly here. So it could be their actual moon sign. It could be what's happening with the moon connected to their astrology at the moment. And of course the moon can represent the mother influence, I believe. So there could be something going on there. They could have done some healing with regards to their mother. But certainly want to achieve more. They want to do more in their life and they seem quite determined to achieve it, although they haven't had the ideal opportunity to be able to do that. They want that change. They want someone who can move forwards with them. Is that you? I think they would like to know that. Freedom is yours, 33. Yes, they do desire freedom. They desire movement. I feel like this is somebody who in a relationship requires a lot of freedom. Very beautiful numerology, 33-6, but again, it's another 6, number of the heart. They have a very big heart. I feel they're somebody that lots of people love. Lots of people fall in love with them very easily, okay? But not many people love them in the right way, support them in the right way, and that could make them very sad. This person will need freedom, okay? If you get in a relationship with this person, you will need them need to know that they may have their own pursuits, they may have different friendship groups, they may go off and do things without you. Okay, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay, but they absolutely need that freedom. Otherwise, again, it's the control issue card. I feel they've been controlled in the past, or they've had very, very controlling influences, perhaps in childhood, and that's been very difficult for them, I think. And I think that's why they may not even be sure if they want a relationship. It's almost like they do and they don't. I feel very strongly that they want a loving relationship, but they're also terrified of it. There's a real fear that comes through. It's from this lack of worth, but also this, can I trust people? There's major trust issues coming up with the horse spirit. Very, very flighty energy here. I think you would need to build things up slowly with this person. Maybe get to know them on a friendship basis first, so that they know that they can trust you. I think that would be extremely important for this person. But once they're on side, once they love you, I think they're a very interesting partner to have. Very intriguing, I want to say as well, because they see the world a little bit differently to how many people do. Yes, like I said, they have a bit of a narrow worldview, so they do need the horizons expanded a little bit. So they might actually want to travel. And that may be something you need to be aware of. They may be planning to travel now, and you might be thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to go to Australia, they're going to go on a world tour, I'm never going to see them again. Well, just give them time, they'll be back. They just need to kind of stretch their legs a little bit. Okay, let's see what else, what other messages they have for you, what they would like you to know. What does Pile 2's crush want them to know, what they want to say to them, what would they say to them if they could? Okay. Rose quartz. Now that's pile 1. Pile 1's crystal was rose quartz, so that's over here. It's a very pale one, but it is rose quartz. That is interesting. Also, rose quartz could be a helpful crystal for this relationship, for you, for them. Maybe you could gift them a piece of rose quartz. Maybe you could carry some when you're around them. I think that energy would be something that would be very healing, very uplifting, very supportive for them. Your wish is my command, marriage and divorce. Yeah, they could. It feels like they could be coming out for a very difficult relationship, maybe a difficult divorce at the moment. Second time I've seen that card today. That came up for pile 1 as well. Your wish is my command, 24. So we've got another 24 here, 24/6. So that's the thing. They do want to build. They do want to grow. They do want to make positive change for the future. So however their life is at the moment, they don't want it to stay that way. They want it to be better. They want to improve things. They want to improve themselves. They want to do more, see more, build. 24/6 master builder number. They want to build. Okay. Cat person, dog person. Okay. So I just had to pause the video to cough when I pulled cat person, dog person. So it's possible there could be some communication issues between the two of you, either now or in the future. My throat chakra just had a little bit of a wobbly. It went very, very dry. I couldn't speak. I had to have some water. Cat person, dog person. And when we get this card, it can be that you're actually very different people, or maybe you communicate on different levels. Maybe you have difficulties communicating. So with this one, I want to say there are potential difficulties when it comes to communication. And that could be now, or that could be, if you do get together and have a relationship, there could be, I want you to be aware, there could be some serious communication issues. Not because they don't want to communicate, not because they're a bad person, just because you may be coming from two completely different viewpoints of the world and you may have trouble understanding each other sometimes, that's all. But that can be resolved. You can definitely work on that. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Candy girl. Yeah. Flash in the pan. Yeah. That's what they don't want. Okay. This is the thing. They may have actually had some quite short-lived relationships. And it's either because they realised very quickly it wasn't the right person and just got the heck out of there. Or it may be that they were used, that they feel very disappointed in people who let them down. Okay, Candy Girl can also represent codependency as well. It's unrealistic expectations. It's wanting things to be a certain way, having a very kind of Pollyanna view of the world. So again, they could come from trauma and abuse. If they have that kind of mindset, it's very, very common for adult survivors of difficult childhoods. So, yeah, I mean, try not to judge them on their track record, is what I want to say. Judge them on the person they are now. Judge them on the person that you're seeing in front of you. Don't judge them on their potential. Don't judge them on the past. Judge them on now, who they are right now. And this might be somebody you've known a very long time, but I want to say I don't feel like they're still quite the same person they used to be. I don't. They are improving. They are trying to change. They're trying to improve their lot. It's just kind of going at snail's pace, and I feel like they just need a little bit of support to do it. And interestingly, the timestamp on my video as I'm recording went to 44:44 then. So that is definitely needing this kind of solid ground to stand on. And one of the first cards was grounding. It was about grounding. So there's number 4 is kind of what they need. So if you have number 4 in your own numerology, you might really be the right person for them. They need that stability. They need that support. And I can hear my cat yelling outside. He wants to come in, so I'll be back in just a moment. I'm just going to support my cat by letting him in. So Bedford's in. Right, let's see what other messages your crush has for you, pile 2. Let's see what else they would like to say to you. Right, definitely stability is something that's important to them, even if it's something they've never really had. Family culture. Okay, pets. Hello and goodbye. Okay. I feel like with this person, again, I want to go to adoption. Maybe this person was adopted, or maybe they lost a parent very early on, or both of their parents. Maybe they were raised by their grandparents or other members of the family, perhaps. But it feels as though they feel the need to research their own family. Okay, it feels like there's some knowledge missing here from their own family, or maybe they feel very, very connected to, I don't know, a few generations back, or to their ancestry, wherever that may come from. And I feel like it could help you to really understand that, to know that about them. And it might explain perhaps a need to travel, or a need to discover new things. But it does feel like that's very, very important to them. So as long as you can bear that in mind and know that that's important to them, I think that would be very advantageous if you're going to enter into a relationship with this person. So hello and goodbye. That's wonderful. That's about positive change coming in for them. So it does feel like there is change coming. And pets, yeah. I mean, this could literally be somebody who feels very misunderstood by people and prefers to spend time with animals. Very interesting there. There could be a connection with your pets or your animals there as well. I mean, they might be your pet sitter, they might be your dog walker, you might be their dog walker, you know, that could be a direct link there for some people as well. But animals seem to have an important connection there. We also had the dog person, cat person card, so that could be literal for some of you. They could literally be a dog person, you're a cat person. True. And I have the true card as well, so there is something about them that's very true, perhaps that you suspect but you're not sure. So if you're looking for confirmation about something to do with them, this could be the card for you. I think there's a lot of truth from this person. I really don't feel like they're somebody particularly deceptive, or if they are, it's not on purpose, not because they want to be deceptive. They're not manipulative intentionally, only if they don't feel safe, is what I want to say. Right, so let's see what other messages they have for you for pile 2. What do pile 2's crush want to say to them? Let's bring this one out, thank you. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. Wow. So there is a spiritual connection there. You may already be feeling it. Okay, you may be aware of this spiritual connection, this soul connection that you two have. There's a soulmate energy coming through here quite strongly. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we get to be with them in this in this lifetime, unfortunately. But yes, I want to acknowledge there is the spiritual connection there, certainly. Surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. So there could be a little reminder there for you. Maybe you need to leave a relationship. Okay, maybe you're still sort of hanging on in there in a relationship where you know you shouldn't really still be there, but you're kind of waiting for something better to come along, and you've maybe got your eye on this person here. Well, this person isn't going to do anything until you leave that one. That's what I'm going to say. So I want to say, don't expect this person to step forwards if they think you're taken, if they think you're still involved with somebody, because they do not want that drama. They would not be able to cope with that drama. This is not somebody who would want to have an affair. That would absolutely destroy them if they did. And they may have done it in the past, and it may have been very, very unhelpful, very unhealthy for them as well. So what else do they want to say to party? Okay. Life is a... can't speak. I spoke with a strange accent there. My voice was like coming through with a strange accent. So they may be somebody that actually comes from a different country, speaks a different language to you. It's so bizarre. My voice keeps doing weird things on this particular reading. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow, you will be surprised where it leads. So don't try to force anything. With the surrender card here and sort of the go with the flow energy of this card, I'd say don't try and force anything. But make sure that you remove any obstacles that could come between you and them if you actually want to have a relationship with your crush. If you actually want something to happen, I would say remove the obstacles, grease the wheels, because there is already this connection and healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed this very moment. So again, it would be very helpful to send healing to this person, send Reiki healing, spiritual healing, to pray for them, send prayers. Prayers. I can speak. I do know some basic English. So healing, yes. I think I said at the beginning healing would be very helpful if you're a healer. Obviously send it to them, and you can either ask them on a spiritual level, you know, at the level of the higher self if they want to accept the healing, or send it with the caveat that they can reject it if they don't want it, because we can never force healing on somebody. You know, like Reiki or spiritual healing, we must always do it with their consent, and if we can't speak to them directly to get their consent, we can actually ask for their consent from the universe and we'll get a yes or a no. Right, so we're going to do charms now. Right, let's take a look, see what else, other messages, anything else that pile 2 needs to know about their crush, please, about the potential relationship here. Okay, alrighty. We have the Eiffel Tower, so there could be a connection with France or Paris there for some of you, and that could be Paris in America. You know, there's not just one Paris. Could also be Tokyo. There's an Eiffel Tower in Tokyo. Okay. I do want to talk about travel. I feel like this person really needs to travel. And it could be that they're in a different country, so they literally need to travel to meet you, to see you. You may have met them in a different country. You know, maybe you live in a different country to them. I want to say travel. With this card, it feels like they need to expand their horizons. They need to go somewhere else. So we've got a little dog here. Now that's interesting because we had dog person, cat person and pets come up as well. So the dog could actually be a strong theme. This is a Scotty dog, so it could be a connection to Scotland there, or to the north of England, because that could also be a West Highland. Well, that's Scotland as well, isn't it? The West Highlands. What am I saying? But to Scotland there potentially. But also I would say tenacity with this dog, because it's a little terrier. They're very tenacious little dogs. There could be a connection to an actual dog that actually connects you as well for some people. So the butterfly, yes, transformation. They are going through a transformation at the moment. They are becoming more of who they truly are. And I think moving forwards, they're really going to show everyone. And I think some people will be surprised who they actually turn out to be at the end of it. So that's really nice. Key. I want to say for some of you, you literally already hold the key to their heart. I think they already really like you. For some of you, there's already a very strong connection for some of you, and you've already got what it is that they want. It feels like there's a very, very strong connection. You're very tempting to this person for some of you. Okay, you're very, very tempting. You already know what it is that they need, what they want, and I think there's a very, very strong match here for some people watching. Okay, remember this is a group reading, so that doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. So the turtle, oh beautiful, great wisdom coming through, such a wonderful animal, but such a hard shell as well. So this person is a little bit of a tough nut to crack to really get into what's going on the inside, because I think they've had to hide so much about themselves for so long that nobody really knows who they are or what goes on underneath that hard shell of theirs, which is a real shame, because they're a very, very gentle and loving soul, but I do think they've made some very, very bad decisions in their life as well. But definitely a romantic person. There's a really nice potential here, so I think it's a very, very interesting reading, very interesting spread here for you, and I really hope that helps you pile 2. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on this video if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment if that resonates, if there's something you would like to share with us all. Please remember to be kind and respectful. If you leave a comment, I will see you very soon. You take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye. So hello pile 3, you've chosen the pile of cards with the green Aventurine crystal. We will pop this one over here. Oops, there we go. And let's take a look to see what messages there are from your crush, what they would like you to know. So we have number 10, Soulcraft. Number 18, let go. Reconciliation and very soon. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so it feels like with this person, pile 3, now remember this is a group reading, so take the elements that make sense for you, leave the ones that don't. Feels like there could be another person involved in this situation. It's possible that your crush is trying to let go of an ex at the moment who may be trying to reel them back in again. You know, they may be in the process of getting out of a relationship, or it may have been a bit on off for a while. Or they may actually want to get back together with somebody at the moment. So that could be something that they want you to know. You know, it could be that they like you, they're interested in you, but they are trying to work this other situation out first. So I feel that that's a strong possibility for some of you watching here. But it does feel like change is coming up for them. It does feel like change is needed. And with the very soon card here, I'd say they're trying to make a decision. They really are trying to make a decision of what they want, who they want to be with. You know, you may not be, you know, may not know them particularly well. So it may not be that they're necessarily even thinking about you at the moment. But if they could speak to you, I feel like they would say, I have this other stuff to deal with first. I have this other person to let go of, or they need to let go of me because I'm not quite ready to move forwards at the moment. So, or it's possible they're in the process of getting back together with somebody, but the energy feels a little bit unstable here. So with the number 10 over here and the 18, really feels like a lot of darkness is being explored at the moment. A lot of hurt is coming up to the surface to be healed. I think your crush is trying to work out who their friends are. I think they're trying to work out who's good for them and who isn't. So they may have been in a very difficult or damaging relationship, or one that just became very high drama, was very painful for them. And I feel that that's what they're trying to sort out at the moment. And they just want you to know that. They're not ignoring you. It's not necessarily that they're not interested in it. I think they've just got a lot to sort out on their plate at the moment. So it might not be quite the right moment just yet. But very soon, I feel they'll be clear on this reasonably quickly. I want to say within the next 4 weeks. That's the number that comes to mind. Of course, there's a group reading, so take that with a pinch of salt. Number 10, Soulcraft. Yeah, it does feel like they are evolving on a soul level at the moment. So if they were in a relationship that was not healthy, that was not helping them to move forwards on their spiritual path, I feel they will be moving away from it in due course. Obviously, sooner or later for people, depending on, you know, their individual situation. Some people do things quicker than others on their soul's path. But with the number 10 here, it feels like they do need a fresh start at the moment. They do want a fresh start. I can see that. They do want to walk their spiritual path with more authenticity. So that could be about letting go of a marriage, of a past partner, a relationship that needs to go. Or dealing with some unfinished business, I want to say. This whole spread speaks to me of unfinished business that needs to be sorted out so that they can move forwards, so that they can actually get clear on what it is that they want. And I think they would very much want anyone who is interested in them to know that. You know, I feel like this person could end up accidentally messing somebody around if they would get together with them right now, just because they've got too much on their plate. There's too much going on. You want to wait till this person makes a clean break, as the sword suggests. But I don't think they can do that yet, because I'm not sure if they've got all of the facts, if they're completely clear about what it is that they actually want. But they do want this change in the future. They do want this clean break. They do want a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning. Whether they choose it or not, of course, will be up to them. But that is important to note. So again, this could be right person, wrong time. Or it could just be that you need to be a little bit patient for this person to actually be available to be in a relationship with you, if that's what you're hoping for. So, what else does pile 3's crush want them to know? What messages do they have for them? Let's see. So what we've got here. Believe in yourself. Yeah. Hello and goodbye. Yeah, that is all about change and new beginnings. So absolutely, the new beginning it's really clear. And with the hello and goodbye card, I want to say they may have been in a situation that was a bit on and off. I mean, they may have been with you. It may have been on and off with you, and you want to get back together with them. Is a very unstable feeling here surrounding this person. So it could be quite a frustrating situation if you've already been involved with them and you're hoping, you know, that something could happen in the future. And with the believe in yourself card coming in here, I just want to say it's not you. I just want to say that I want to bring in a little bit of self-worth for you, a little bit of a boost for you, pile 3, and say it's not you, it's not your fault. Okay, have confidence in yourself, have trust in yourself that, you know, you are attractive, you are a wonderful person that people would want to have a relationship with. In fact, I think this person would say that to you and say, you're a really great person. You know, you are a really, really great person. I want you to have more confidence in yourself, okay? Because confidence is attractive. So there could be something for you to work on there that could actually help grease the wheels, possibly with this person or possibly with another person. If there's somebody out there who's better for you, water. Okay. Interesting. So there could be a connection here with water. So it could be sports, the beach. They could work on boats. You know, they could be in the navy. You know, in the military or something. A connection to water with this person, or it might just be that they like to spend time by bodies of water to actually relax. But water can also speak about emotion, so there could be a lot of emotion in this whole situation for some people. It feels like it could be a little bit overwhelming for some as well. You may need a little bit of emotional support here, and I think they might need some emotional support as well. But that's not your job. If you want to be in a relationship with somebody, it's not your job to be their counsellor. It's not your job to be their mum or their dad, you know. Just remember that. If you want to be with someone, put yourself in the position of, you know, the prospective partner or the person to be wooed or courted, or who is the high value potential partner. You are not the person who cleans up after them. So if you have any tendency to do that for people, I just want to caution you that might not be the best course of action here. So, right, let's go to the Animal Spirit Oracle, see what other messages pile 3's person has for them, what else they would like to say. It's a very interesting situation. You know, it looks a little bit complicated, I want to say. For a lot of people, this is going to be a little bit complicated, a little bit maybe wishy-washy as well. They could be, like I said, there's that on and off energy that comes through, sort of blowing hot and cold, which is very difficult to deal with when you're on the receiving end of that. That's very, very challenging. So what else have they got to say? Brown Bear Spirit, take time out. Well, that makes sense. Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. Deer Spirit, bring a gentle touch. Yeah, we've got another 18 here, so it does feel very much like they're working through some shadow aspects of self. Maybe they're even working with a shadow counsellor. Interesting. With a counsellor. And no, I'd probably call my counsellor a shadow counsellor, because she's an expert in working with the shadow self and the darker aspects of self. She probably wouldn't mind that at all. But this person may already be working, you know, they may be in therapy, they may be getting the help, they may be in couples counselling to try and work out what's happening. And couples counselling doesn't necessarily get your relationship back on track. Sometimes it helps you move away from the person, realise it's not right, realise, you know, that is just not going to work, you know. So don't worry if, you know, if the person you're interested in is going to couples counselling, that may be a really good sign to help them get away and be more healthy emotionally. So it does feel though like they are having to dig some depths at the moment, really looking at themselves in the mirror, perhaps considering things that happened to them in their past relationships, their childhood, past hurts, why they do certain things, why they have certain patterns. And we have the Brown Bear Spirit. And like I said, they kind of need some time to do this. But also I want to say they're nearly there, because this comes in on number 9. And 9 is the end of the cycle. It is where we find our wisdom. It is the Hermit, of course, in the major arcana of the tarot. And the tarot very strongly linked to numerology, of course. But the 9 dissolves and becomes 10, which is the beginning of the new cycle. And this card over here was a 10. Interesting that we got it positioned before the 10. So we've got 9 leading on to 10. When I work this direction, left to right. Very often this is more in the past and this is more in the future. Kind of this is more present as a general rule in my spreads, just to give you a little bit of insight how I work. I don't work with any particular spread. I put the cards out however they come, however I'm guided to, or however fits on the screen. So, but with 50, with the Rhino Spirit, that's very positive. That's very self-assured as well. I feel a lot of maturity. This person is maturing at the moment quite fast, possibly because of what they have been through in their life. So yeah, therapy, they could definitely be in therapy at the moment if they're maturing really fast. Or they could be learning some very, very important life lessons. They could be working on themselves, I feel, working on their spirituality as well. That can be very helpful. But the brown bear spirit, yes, it does feel, this person might be the wounded bear, the archetypal wounded bear. Again, that's right person, wrong time. The person, particularly with men, we say the wounded bear, don't we? Doesn't have to be, could be a woman. Yeah, this is somebody who has to heal from what they're going through first before they can move forwards. That's what I want to say. I don't know that this person is necessarily available right now, but they will be soon, because it comes in on number 8. Number 8? Interesting that 8 popped out of my mouth there. So 8, there is a connection to number 8, although this is a card number 9. With number 8, that is about longevity and also exhaustion. So I feel this person could be exhausted. They could be coming out of a very long relationship as well, or a long-term marriage or relationship, partnership. They could have been struggling for a very long time, I want to say. Turquoise crystal feels, I'm very drawn to turquoise crystal as well. That could be a crystal for you to work with, or if it's somebody that you already know, maybe you could gift them a piece of crystal. I think that could help them with their healing. And that's not a manipulative thing to do. You're not trying to force them to heal faster so they can be with you. You know, that's never what you should do. That is manipulative, and that won't go well. But I feel this person could use some turquoise crystal. So if it is, you know, if it is somebody that you know or that you like, maybe gift them maybe a little turquoise bear. I feel that could be very healing for them at the moment. Maybe help them to communicate a little bit better as well, because I feel there could be some blockages there. But the rhino spirit, yes, they are maturing. They will overcome these problems. I'm very drawn to Ganesh here as well. I'm just leaning behind me to get my Ganesh. With the rhino spirit, I know it's a rhino rather than an elephant, but I always get such a strong Ganesh vibe off this card, because it does say overcome any obstacle. And Lord Ganesh is the great remover of obstacles. I'm just going to pop him here for a minute, because I feel like he should be a part of this reading. I was talking to him before I started this reading. I was getting kind of his energy coming in. I felt like he wanted to be a part of one of the readings. I wasn't exactly sure which one, but I feel Ganesh very strongly connected to this reading. So, you know, regardless of your religion or your beliefs, I feel his energy very strongly is helping this person, helping you to remove obstacles so that you can, you know, so that you can be happy in the future, so that you can have the relationship you want, whether it's with this person or somebody even better. And I do always add the caveat, somebody better, because sometimes, you know, the gods, the universe has a better idea for us and goes, actually, that person's great, but how about this? And you go, oh, wow, didn't even know I could have that, you know. We should always be open to something better when we're manifesting, when we're asking for something, when we're praying for something. So let's see what else does Pile 3's crush want to say to them, what messages they have for them. Oh yes, and with the deer spirit, I want to say they kind of do need to be handled with kid gloves a little bit at the moment. Emotionally, they're a little bit raw. 60, swan spirit, time for a deep dive. 19, dog spirit, be loyal to what you love, yes. So again, they could have some misplaced loyalty, but I feel that this person is very loyal, is very solid, would be great to be in a relationship with. We could have an earth sign here, maybe a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is somebody who is reliable, or that could be one of their big 3. You know, it could be their sun, their rising sign, or their moon sign, not necessarily just their sun sign. Swan spirit, yes, time for a deep dive. It does feel like they're doing that at the moment. That is in progress. It's like in progress, deep dive in progress. And like a swan, you know how they say when ducks are swimming on a river, they look very graceful and calm on top, underneath their feet are going like crazy. That's kind of how this person looks at the moment. You might not realise what's going on below the surface, but there's a lot going on below the surface, particularly connected to the heart and to love. And it's almost like all bets are off when it comes to romance for them, almost like they're gaining a new understanding of what love is supposed to look like, what relationships are supposed to look like. And this is a bit of a revelation for them. It's coming as a bit of a shock, a bit of a surprise, I want to say. So they could feel very vulnerable at the moment. They could feel maybe a little bit confused and perhaps not ready for anything else right now, just because they're trying to find their feet again. They're trying to work out which way is up and which way is down, because it feels like their whole life has been turned upside down in some way. Perhaps their perception of life has been turned upside down. With the dog spirit, yes, they are a very loyal person. And I think if their loyalty has been betrayed, much as they might want to fix things with that person, I think they will come to the realization that that's not possible. Even if they go back to the well a few times but realize it's still empty. Very loyal energy, very loving and open energy as well. If anything, I'd say this person might be a little bit naive for their years. You know, they may be older, you know, they may be, you know, in their 50s or 60s, but they're really quite naive when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the dynamics of relationships and how that is supposed to go. And that's not their fault. It just means that nobody ever taught them what it was supposed to look like when you're in a relationship, or how people are supposed to treat you in a relationship. And again, that can go way back to childhood. That can also go to past lives as well. We can end up in very unusual dynamics with people that we've had past lives with, or difficult dynamics with people that we have karma that needs to sort out. So there's no right or wrong here, you know, it's just experiences that we have in life, and then we have choices, and we can choose to move in different directions and heal ourselves. So okay, transformation, excellent. So just see what else your crush wants to say to you, pile 3. What are the messages they have for you? Okay, that's beautiful. Transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. So they are going through this big transformation at the moment. So there is big change coming for them, absolutely. So if you are already, you know, beginning a relationship, there is a potential for that to actually get moving now, but they have to do this work first. They have to leave this other person, if there is another person involved, or it may be just the memory of another person that's holding them back at the moment, whatever the work is that they're doing internally at the moment that you might not even be aware of. But it does feel like they are overcoming whatever obstacles are holding them back. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. Yes, again, it's about reprioritizing and realizing what actually matters. It's not about the stuff, because you can't take it with you. It's about the experiences. It's about the love. It's about the friendship, the relationships. And I think they are actually learning that now. I think they are really understanding that they don't have to stay in bad situations, that they can have better. Or maybe it's you that's, you know, that's understanding that as well, because this is a group reading. So some of the things I'm saying apply to your person, your crush, may actually apply to you. Remember, this is a group reading, so take it as it makes sense for you. So trust, transformation. Oh, again, that word transformation. That must be a big theme with this whole situation. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. That's true. When we stop clinging to something, it can actually start to change. We may not even realize that we're clinging to it, or we may not realize because we're only clinging psychologically. It's almost like in our mind, no, I can't change that. I can't let that happen. And as soon as we let go of this outcome that we so desperately think we need, the universe can actually bring in what is right for us and what is better for everyone involved. So yes, I think you would have to wait for this person if you want to be with them. I think for many of you, you may need to wait. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Yes, and I want to go back to the worthiness card that we had, the unicorn card, because I want to say to you, pile 3, are you aiming high enough? Are you aiming for what you actually deserve? Because you might not be. You might be aiming too low. You might not even realise what you deserve. You know, you may need to take a second look at that, maybe with a life coach, a romantic coach, a counsellor, something like that. You know, there may be some work for you to do as well. I feel like I want better for you. And I think that's what this person would say to you as well. You deserve better. And that's not necessarily better than them. That's not necessarily what they're trying to say here. But you deserve better. A better life, better people. Beware of what you're projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. Now that is interesting. So make sure you're not projecting qualities onto the other person that they don't actually possess, or assuming they have qualities or think things that you don't actually know that they think. Okay, particularly if you're not in contact with this person or not in close contact with this person. Maybe you're not very close, maybe you kind of know each other from a distance. Beware of projection, beware of imagining who this person is and just projecting what you want onto them and imagining that they are this person that you want them to be as opposed to who they actually are. So I do want to add a little bit of caution here. So it may be time to pour a little bit of cold water. You know, if you have a little bit of a fantasy about who this person is, you might not be quite right. So be prepared for them to be a real person, to be who they actually are. And if you are somebody that struggles with limerence, that could be something for you to work on as well. So limerence is kind of when we get a little bit obsessed about somebody that we don't really know, but it's very often people who come from a background of trauma or abuse who fall into that trap. And it can be very painful, very, very difficult pattern to go through. If you want to know more about limerence, I would say look up the Crappy Childhood Fairy. Really amazing channel on YouTube. I will link to it in the description below. So let's see what else your crush has to say to you, what they would like you to know. What messages they have. Divine timing. Yeah, it is all about timing with this person, 100%. Completion or fulfillment. Interesting, that's coming in on 66. Okay, because we had a 60 over here. Wisdom and experience, 44. Yes. Work together for each other. Yep. Self-care comes first. Okay. Yes, it is absolutely all about timing with this person. I don't know that it's necessarily the right time for them at the moment, so you may need to wait, like I said. But they are having to put themselves first at the moment, their well-being first at the moment, and they may be learning to do that. There may be something they've never done before. And I want to say to you, Pile 3, it's time for you to do that as well. Put your self-care first, put your well-being first, put your psychological well-being first. You know, are the things that you could be doing to better yourself, to make yourself feel better, to improve yourself, to help your body. There's always something we can do. We are all a work in progress, without exception. There is always something that we can do and improve upon. And that's not about beating yourself up and going, oh, I'm not good enough, I have to do this thing, otherwise I'm not good enough. No, that's not what I mean. This is about care, self-care. Caring about yourself, not self-improvement, self-care. And that's very, very important at the moment. So completion and fulfillment. Yes, I think this person will get there, and they will kind of come to a new order of things in their life. It's like their life, what I see is it changing completely and them coming to a very new way of doing things, a very new dynamic, a very new way of actually living and working. So it may be that they have a major life change coming up, as well as possibly leaving this other person or this memory of another person behind, or whatever work it is that they're doing psychologically. It feels like there's a big life change coming up for them. We had transformation come up twice on the heart-shaped cards here as well. So I do want to say there is a whole new way of doing things, a whole new way of living and being for them. So with work together for each other on 48, and 48 can be a lot of hard work, but it can also be completion of karmic contract. It's a karmic number. So I feel whoever this person gets into a relationship with, and that could be you in the future, I feel it will be a karmic relationship. Their next one will be very important. But it does feel like there would be a lot of work to do, because they still have work to do on themselves. And as a result, it's almost like with the relationship, it would be kind of uncharted territory for them. So it could be quite challenging to be in a relationship with this person in the future, just because they've been through so much, and on a personal level, they have made these changes, or they have changed internally. So they're kind of striking out in a new direction, I feel, moving forwards. They have learned from this wisdom and experience card here. It feels like they have learned a lot in the past couple of years, I would say. Yeah, so it is very much about timing. I think you would need to be prepared to work hard to be in a relationship with this person. I think they would want to know you to know that. I think they might have even told you, if you know them, you know, if you've already had some sort of relationship or friendship with them, if they know you're interested, they may have even said, I'm really hard work. Okay, I'm really hard work to be with. You don't want to be with me. I'm really hard work. I would say listen if somebody says that to you. Okay, take people at their word. When they tell you who they are, pay attention. They're not lying, all right? They do mean it. They're not just being, you know, they're not just putting themselves down or something. They probably would be quite hard work to be with. So just to give you a heads up, I think they would want you to know that. So let's bring in some charms now. Let's have a look, see what else, what other omens or messages we have for Pile 3 about their crush. Okay, interesting. Rocking horse. Yeah, so with the rocking horse, there could be a connection to children here or childhood. I think this could be somebody you've known for a long time, maybe since childhood. Could be a connection to their own children or your children. they have such a gentle energy, but it feels like they're not getting anywhere. And I said this before with the rocking horse, you know, it gives you something to do, but you don't get anywhere on a rocking horse, same as on a rocking chair. So Eiffel Tower could be a connection to France, to Tokyo, to Paris. There is an Eiffel Tower in Tokyo. Could also be a connection to a different monument, something that's meaningful to you both. I feel there could be a connection there. Clothes hanger, interesting. It does feel like they are starting anew. I want to look at the clothes hanger and say almost like they're going to get a completely new wardrobe and be unrecognisable. Even if it's not literally a wardrobe, I feel like they will be so changed, so unrecognisable once they've been through this phase. They will be quite a different person, I think. But there's this big heart here, this very, very big heart. And I think they would want to acknowledge in you how loving and wonderful you are. And I think they see that. I think they know that about you if they, you know, if you're already known to them. Or if you're not known to them, I think they sense that. I think they sense this very, very big heart here. And remember, these charms can mean something individual to you as well. So if there is a particular special meaning for you, then do take that for yourself. And we have this anchor. So yeah, I do feel like they need somebody to ground them, somebody to anchor them. And they are trying to find that grounding and anchoring within themselves at the moment. They are trying to work out who they are. I already said there was a connection with water, so for some people this is a literal anchor if they work on boats or if they work in the Navy, or if they have a connection to boats, to sailing, yachting, or if they live on the coast, for example. Or they might live in a pub called the Ship Inn or something, or might work in a pub. There's lots of possibilities there because this is a group reading. Take what's relevant for you. And then the butterfly. So yes, transformation is definitely coming. I feel with the little gaps in the wings here, because there's like 2 little gaps in the wings. I feel like the transformation hasn't quite finished yet. They're still working on it. It's nearly there, but they're still missing a couple of jigsaw pieces at the moment, and they want you to know that. It feels almost like, look, I'm not avoiding you. I'm just trying to work these things out for myself. I'm just trying to get my head straight. I'm just trying to understand who I truly am and what it is that I actually want from life. So a little bit complicated, this one, but certainly there's a lot of positivity there as well. But I think if you want to be with this person, it may be that you have to wait for them, or it could be quite a difficult relationship at first while they find their feet. And I think there would be a need for hard work together. So there could be something specifically that you have to work on, or, you know, it could be literal hard work that you have to do together. I'm seeing someone digging for some reason. You know, it could be that they run a pub. I don't know why I'm going back to that reference. Maybe they run a pub and you'd have to work with them if you're going to be married to them or their partner or something. You know, maybe you're going to have to work in their business with them. And that does involve hard work, and that is something to bear in mind. But this is a very interesting one. This person's obviously very loving and very caring, but they're kind of going through some stuff at the moment. So I think they would just want you to know that. I hope that is helpful to you, Pile 3. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Please also leave a comment if there's something you would like to share with us. Please remember to be kind and respectful in the comments. We're all human beings. Let's be kind to each other. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you again very soon. Thank you. Hello, Pile 4, and welcome to your reading. You've chosen the pile with the Lapis Lazuli heart here. We're going to pop that over there for our reading, and let's take a look to see what messages we have from your crush, what they would like you to know. We have 43 enlightenment, oh wow, and 31 divine feminine. We have romantic feelings and passion. Ooh. Okay. Now that is a very, very interesting place to start. Quite exciting. Okay, let's take a look and see what your crush would like to say to you. Now, first of all, it does look like there may already be a connection here, a romantic connection. This may be somebody that that's already aware how you feel about them, or maybe, you know, maybe you've already had some sort of connection, romantic connection there. Maybe you've already been in a relationship. Maybe you've already had a short relationship or a casual relationship, something like that. Because there's a lot of passion. Wow, romantic feelings and passion. Yeah, all the feels, they're all there. Very interesting. But it comes in with the divine feminine as well. So very, very beautiful energy. but with enlightenment at 43 and divine feminine, I feel like this person may actually be working kind of, there's a possibility that this person's working in a psychic or a holistic field, or is involved in a psychic or a holistic field. Now remember, this is a group reading, so take the elements that make sense for you and your situation and leave the ones that don't. But if not, I feel this person is very, very psychic, very intuitive, and that could be why you are very, very powerfully attracted to them. It does feel like there is a past life connection here, I want to say specifically. Past life very much pulling you together. It may be something that maybe the two of you can't even control. You know, you may be pulled together and it's just irresistible and you don't know why, because you might be very mismatched. You know, on the face of things, you may not appear to be an obvious couple. But not to worry, you know, very, very interesting. I feel this person could be working on their spiritual path though. So if they're a bit distant at the moment, or if you're not in a relationship and you would like to be, I feel they could be working on their spiritual path. I feel they could be working on higher spiritual aspects of themselves, whether they realise it or not, because people don't necessarily know when they're doing it. It's not always conscious. Sometimes, you know, it is unconscious work that we're doing, subconscious or super conscious, higher levels of consciousness that are actually doing that work and keep us in a different place where we don't want to be or where we don't expect to be. With this big heart in the middle here, there's very beautiful, very loving energy here. And it is rooted in the right things. You know, I feel like you would both be coming from the right place with this relationship or potential relationship. I think this person does have feelings for you, you know, if they know you. Obviously, if you only admire them from a distance, they don't know who you are, you know, take that as it lands. But there's a good chance this person has feelings for you, very passionate feelings, I would say, or it could grow into great passion here. Very, very exciting cards to see, very interesting. I'm actually going to go straight to these cards here because I want a bit more information. What is it that Powerful's crush wants them to know? What do they want to say to them? What messages they have for them, please? Manifesting miracles. Oh, so have you been manifesting this relationship? Is this the one that you've been waiting to turn up? Secret admirer. Friendship. Ah, okay. So for some of you, this is somebody that you already know, you're already friends with, or, you know, that you know in some way, shape or form. A secret admirer, someone has deeper feelings for you than they're letting on. So this person could actually be really quite into you. And you might not realise it. Might be somebody you see at the gym, you know, or in a social setting like that. And maybe they've kind of clocked you and, you know, they keep an eye on you from a distance, but they never really let on how they feel. But it does feel like this is very much kind of meant to be, this situation. It feels like your connection is meant to be, you know, whichever direction it goes in. Oh, sorry. Kicking my camera, that's not helpful. Whichever direction it goes in, and we don't know how that will go on the longer term, of course. You know, we are just looking at a group reading for everyone at the moment, everyone who picked this pile. But there's something very fated about this, I think. Maybe you've been manifesting a relationship and this is the person that's shown up. Maybe they've been manifesting a relationship. Maybe you both have. Maybe you've both been working with the law of attraction, both been praying, asking for a relationship. So your dream is soon to become reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. So that's a very interesting sign with this person. They could be very interested, very into you. Friendship. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship and your love life will dramatically improve. So this could be somebody that you need to be friends with first. And it's absolutely okay. In fact, it's preferable in some ways to start a relationship being friends first, just to see if you get on, if you like each other. You know, I want to say, with this person, although there's a lot of feeling here, I want to say take it a little bit slowly. I think this person may need you to take it a little bit slowly, even if they've got their eye on you from a distance at the moment. And I think for some of you, they definitely have. They are definitely interested. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. Yeah, so any control issues need to completely go out of the window with this one, because that will not work. All right, that could cause problems in this relationship if anyone is attempting to control it or manipulate things. Everything is as it is. All right, if there are any aspects of this person you don't like, you would have to accept them. So to go into acceptance. But also with the word accepting, I want to talk about receiving, which is such an important theme when it comes to manifesting. And if you haven't read my book about manifesting, I will link in the description below. It's called Dream Bigger, How the Law of Attraction Really Works. It's always linked in my videos if you want to have a read of that. So I want to talk about receiving. Are you open to receive? Okay. Are you open and receptive to receiving? Are you good at receiving? Many of us are not, particularly women. We're very bad at receiving. We're not good at letting people give us things. We say no. Someone offers to make us a cup of tea and we say no because we don't want to put them out, or we don't think, oh no, it's okay. Oh, don't bother yourself. Oh, please no. I want to say, if that's you, practice receiving so that you can help to grease the wheels with the situation so things can move forwards, if that's what you want. Yeah, receiving is something I want to talk about for some people watching this particular part to work on. So, interesting. Yeah, I think this person may have the hots for you and you may not be interested in them, or you might go, oh yeah, well, there's things I'm not quite sure about with them. Look, accept this person as they are, kind of at face value, because what you see is what you get, I think. So if you're not sure about this person, even if you're attracted to them, you would need to accept them for who they are as they are right now. Don't expect them to change. So that's a key point they would want you to know. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Wow, this is getting passionate right now. This is very exciting. Oh, okay, the sexual union card. Honour the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. So if that is age appropriate for you, this could be a very passionate relationship in the bedroom. So wow. Or this could be somebody that you already have that passionate connection with. Maybe it's a one-night stand, maybe you were friends with benefits at one point, but that connection is very much there. And there is this distance with the Enlightenment card, so there could be a distance there. It may be that they don't actually want a relationship, and again, that may be with the acceptance card here, that may be what you need to accept, that they don't want a relationship, that they don't want anything deeper than that. They are just happy to, to have fun, to enjoy themselves, to enjoy carnal pleasures, so shall we say, which is possibly disappointing if that's not what you want. But there's definitely a lot here already. There's definitely passion, there's definitely attraction, very, very powerful attraction. So, because this is a group reading, obviously it will be different, the outcomes will be different for everyone. So let's take a look at some more cards here. What message does Pile Forth Crush have for them? Electric Eel Spirit, bring your ideas to life. 44, Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. Yes, 15, Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless. And 43, Owl Spirit, you see clearly now. Now, this is an interesting one. I want to say with this person, if you've been hoping to have a connection with them, I think that could come to pass. I think it could. 24/6 Master Builder number. So, yeah, that could definitely happen. It does feel like you've been doing a lot of manifesting work, Pile 4. Please tell me in the comments if you have, because I'd be fascinated to know. Or if you've been praying or trying to ask the universe or God to bring this situation, or ask the angels to bring this about, because it feels like something is about to happen for you. And I feel there's a strong possibility it could be with this person if that's what you want. 44, reclaim your power. Yes, stand in your power. 15, Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless. Again, talking about miracles. So there's a very fated feel here. It's quite karmic, I want to say, but in a good way. Karmic doesn't have to be a bad thing. People come together because they are meant to come together on a soul level. They may have already made an agreement. You may have already made a karmic agreement with this person that you will be in a relationship at some point in this lifetime together, or that you will have the opportunity to do that if that's something that both of you want. It will show up. It will show up as a possibility for both of you. So in some ways your meeting might have felt a little bit miraculous. You might have had kind of like a meet cute, it might be a bit corny how you actually met each other, or how you know each other. It's kind of cute. But there is a very strong temptation to go too quickly with this person, to leap into bed with them, which may not be the right thing to do if you actually want something on the longer term. I want to say, be cautious, especially if you're a woman. Make sure you're holding your power. You hold the cookie, okay? You make them work for the cookie. All right, in the words of the great Steve Harvey, you make them work for the cookie. Okay, remember, you're the prize, please, and gents too, but more ladies. It's an unfair world, and that's how it goes. Owl Spirit, you see clearly now. Yeah, I think there will be clarity coming along here, possibly later on this year. I want to stay in the same year. Obviously, it depends when you're watching. This is a timeless reading, so it doesn't matter, but I want to say within the same year, things will be sorted out between you and you'll know quite clearly where you're moving. But I think you may need to actually stand your ground with this person. I think they will respect that. They will respect it if you say no to them. They will respect that. And they will want to build something with you and to grow something with you, because I see that you can get on really well with this person. With the friendship card there's already, either you're already friends or you would make very good friends for each other. I think, yeah, regardless of your backgrounds, even if you come from different backgrounds, I think you're very, very highly compatible. So highly compatible. And this other person may already feel it, because with the Secret Admirer card, I feel like they've got their eye on you as much as you've got their eye on them. So that is a very interesting thing to see, quite encouraging as well. This is very exciting to see in this type of reading, because very often there's a lot of caution that comes in with these types of readings. But this one feels a lot less cautious, feels much more straightforward, like this person likes you, you like them. What are we going to do about it? You know, and that is the question that I would want to ask next. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to build together? What are you going to bring to life? How are you going to move forwards? So I feel like this person would want to manifest a relationship as well, but they do have that spiritual work going on at the moment. So I want you to be aware of that as well. That could be quite important to them. So, oh, what else have we got here? Psychic connection. Yes. Yes. Long distance. Okay. So for some of you, this could literally be a long distance thing. Could be somebody who lives a long way away from you. I see. That could be definitely causing some issues there. Could slow things down a little bit, could be a little bit frustrating, could be somebody you know at a distance. Okay. And psychic connection, yes, that psychic connection is definitely there between you. I would say this person is very intuitive, and I want to tell you that yes, they feel the psychic connection too. I would say that they would want you to know that. They want to know you to know that they sense that too, even if they're not quite sure what it is, even if they're not very psychic themselves, although I feel they probably are. They feel really intuitive or empathic to me. Certainly with the cards we had at the beginning with the Divine Feminine coming through from them, I would say this is somebody who's highly empathic, very intelligent, but also very psychic. Whether they realise that or not, and not everyone does. You know, we can have these abilities and really not appreciate that we have them because we don't know what to name them. No one's ever pointed them out to us explicitly before, so we don't really notice. So work, love, family, spirituality, balance, yes. And an ex-partner, an ex-partner getting in the way. Okay. So with this card, it is very much about work-life balance, but rather than work-life balance, because that's rather reductive, I put work, love, family, spirituality balance, because there's so much more to life. It's not just going to work and then going home again. You know, work should not be such a major part of our lives. It's not work and outside of work. It's all of the other things and work. Okay. Yeah, they do need balance in their life, but they need balance with their spirituality. That's really jumping out at me again. So it feels like whatever their spiritual practice or perhaps their religion is, that is very important to them, and that would need to be a big part of their life. Or maybe it's you, that your religion or spirituality is a very big part of your life, very important to you as well. So that does need to find its balance, but I do think that is possible in this situation, particularly coming on 36/9, which is an extremely powerful manifesting number. So again, it's almost like things could move forwards quite miraculously, or seemingly miraculously for you. You could really move forwards in unexpected ways here, because there's such a strong fated feel to this connection. And that's not to say it's guaranteed that things, you know, things will move forwards, that things will work out. Of course, this is a group reading. Ex-partner, all right. So we do have somebody just hanging around here, and this could be your ex-partner. It could be that you actually need to let go of somebody so that they can step forwards. Okay, because this card here that it's sitting on is all about reclaiming your power, reclaiming your energy. If you're still connected to an ex-partner, they are draining your energy. Okay, one way or another, they're taking a piece of your energy. Even if you have a good relationship with them, even if you're kind of on good terms and you're still kind of seeing each other because you're not sure, they're still taking some of your energy, leaving you less for somebody else to be attracted to, less for somebody else to be able to enjoy, less for you to give to somebody else. You are less available if you've still got somebody hanging on, all right, still got somebody hanging around. So I want to say, make sure that you are clear of any past relationships. It may be a good idea to do a tie cutting ceremony. That could be a good one for you to do. There is a meditation you can use over on my other channel, Angel Wings Holistics, which I will link to above. or it could be them that needs to let go of an ex-partner. And of course, if that's the situation, they want you to know that. They want you to know that there is somebody else still getting in the way. It could be the mother of their children, the father of their children, you know, or it could just be a relationship that they're still dealing with. But it does feel like it is coming to an end now. It does feel like they are taking back their power. So, very interesting indeed. Candy Girl, yeah. I want to say stay realistic in your expectations. Don't move too fast. Don't jump into the bedroom too fast, because there's such a powerful connection here. It would be very, very tempting to do that. And I think that could be very unhelpful, regardless if you're male or female. Certainly with Candy Girl showing up, I would say that's confirmation of that. Confirmation of keep your feet on the ground, please. Stay grounded in this whole situation, because that is... it would be very easy to be swept away on this kind of tide of emotional energy that we've got here. So let's move on to the unicorn cards. Okay, let's see what else Powerful's crush would like them to know, what message they have for them. Okay, let go of stress. Yeah, don't take on other people's stress. Breathe it out now. Particularly if you have an ex-partner, don't take on their stress. Don't take on their problems. All right. It feels almost like your person, your crush, wants to say to you, chill out, in the nicest possible way. Chill out, you know, don't worry, there's no problem here, okay? Take a break. Very soon. Oh, wow, look at that. So yes, for some of you, this is a relationship that could really be getting off the ground very soon. They will be ready for you very soon. That's really beautiful to see. That's a really, really lovely card to see in this kind of situation. You know, in the morning. Okay, pay attention to any dreams where they show up at the moment, because that could actually be bringing you messages at the moment. If this person, your crush, shows up in your dreams, I would say write it down and interpret that dream to see what it could be telling you, what higher aspects of them could be communicating to you, because that is a way that we can communicate with each other through dreams. It's something that people do when they're in the spirit world as well. Someone who's passed over to the other side, it's much easier for them to communicate through dreams than it is, you know, when we're conscious and the conscious mind is getting in the way. So they come in through dreams. So I'd say if this person shows up in your dreams, write it down, interpret it, you know, pay attention. Interpret it in a realistic way. Don't assume just because they've showed up that it's the right person for you. Okay. But also you could be showing up in their dreams. I think you could be, you know, literally showing up in their dreams. Certainly for me, if someone shows up in dreams or in meditation and they're wearing all white, I know I'm talking to the higher aspect of that person, because that's how it shows up for me. So it could be different for you, but that's certainly how I know I'm talking to the higher self of that person. So you don't expect them to know or remember that you've had that conversation. Grandparent. Oh, wow. Okay, so there could be a family tie that's holding them back a little bit at the moment. They could have a strong connection to a grandparent, or it might be you that has a strong connection to a grandparent. And I'm aware that I've just been talking about spirit communicating with us, so I think this is where this is coming in. So this person could be a medium. You might be a medium, or they may receive messages, you know, a natural medium. You don't have to be a working medium. You don't have to do it as your job, or work in the churches or anything like that. But this person could be a natural medium, but I think they have a very special connection either with a grandparent or with somebody who has passed over to the other side, which is really powerful, really wonderful. And you may have that as well, because I feel you're probably very psychic as well. If you're very, very drawn, very connected to this person, you have that ability, you have that tendency yourself too. So very, very interesting. We're actually going to bring in some astrology dice here as well. I'm going to bring in the astrology dice. Bedford likes to play with these. I will get him to select them one day, but he's not here at the moment. He's asleep. So what can you tell us about this relationship potential? What does Powerful's crush want them to know? Okay. Gemini. Uranus. Not allowed to say Uranus anymore, are we? 4th house. Okay. So Uranus in Gemini, 4th house. Okay. Now this is an interesting combination. Of course, it's going to mean something slightly different for everyone watching because it's a group reading, but Uranus is the planet of sudden change, sudden expected change, the ruler of Aquarius. So there could be something about to happen which actually changes their situation quite remarkably. And also it could actually be related to communication or solving a problem, because we've got Gemini coming in here as well. If there's been a communication problem with an ex-partner that's holding them back, I feel that could be resolved, because it is connected to the home and to family, coming in on the 4th house here as well. But 4 is also a number of stability. So I'm feeling like stability coming into their home situation, whatever it is right now, helping them to move forwards. And if they have been at a distance from you, there was that suggestion that it could be a long distance relationship for some people. I think that could be resolved sort of out of the blue. Bang, suddenly they have an apartment near you, or a job offer near you, or vice versa. I think any problems can be sorted out quite quickly with whatever is holding them back, holding their energy back, or holding your energy back in this situation, because I've put the cards without really thinking about it. This is how I work intuitively. I put them here, and this is the stuff we wanted to let go of here and really stand in your power and let go of what was draining you. And I think the universe is really going to step in and help to solve some of those problems in quite a sudden and unexpected manner. But it could come through better communication, or a letter, a telephone call, perhaps, for Gemini showing up out of the blue, but certainly connected to family. So maybe it's a gift, maybe it's an inheritance that frees you up, an inheritance from a grandparent, maybe it frees you up and allows you to move forwards in your life in ways you were not expecting to be free to do so. So let's bring in some charms. Okay, let's take a look here at my little bag of tricks, my bag of charms. See what messages we have here for pile 4 regarding their crush, anything their crush would want them to know, please, any messages they have for them. Alrighty, we have 2 moons. 2 moons, now that's interesting. I want you to look at your moon sign and their moon sign. Now one is a waning moon, one's a waxing moon. Okay, so that's interesting. Timings could be very important here, because we've got this sweet little fairy sat on the moon here waiting. Maybe it's just not the right moment. So again, I think, did I say 4 weeks is the timing for this one? I can't remember, but I want to say 4 weeks. It might have been pile 3, but if it wasn't, then I want to say 4 weeks for you guys as well. A moon cycle. There's a moon cycle that needs to pass, I think, before you can really sort anything out in this one. A moon cycle, obviously when it goes from waxing to waning, it only takes 14 days, so for some people there is a 14-day period that's relevant here as well. We have an Om symbol here, Aum, ancient Sanskrit, very powerful. That could be something that you actually like to chant, or something you like to focus on when you meditate. Again, I feel there's a connection to the holistic world, to perhaps yoga or healing or tantra or religion that's very, very important for one of you here. So the Om could be very, very meaningful for somebody watching. Little Scotty dog's been coming out a lot recently in my readings, which is curious. So the Scotty dog, or could be a West Highland White, I don't know, could be a Westie, but still connection to Scotland potentially for some people, or Scottish ancestry with the grandparent here. The Scotty dog's very tenacious. It is a terrier, after all. It has a hard bite. It's not to be trifled with, not to be messed with, although it's a small dog with a big personality. Nobody told them they were small dogs. Okay, and the wheel, yes. I want to say take the wheel here. I really do. Take the wheel. I feel you can really help to direct this potential relationship. And you may be the one that needs to do that. You may need to actually call the shots to some degree. I think it will be up to you how it goes, how it develops. It may not be up to you necessarily to take the first step or to make the first move. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel you need to be quite clear in how you want the relationship to progress. You know, if you want it to be a serious relationship, you don't offer the cookie immediately, you know. I'm talking in code here, trying not to get banned. You know, you might not want to leap into the bedroom immediately with them. You know, you want to get to know each other, let them know that you're serious, let them know, if that's what you want, let them know that you want a long-term serious relationship. Okay, and I think you would need to hold some boundaries there as well. Again, there could be a connection to boats, there could be a connection to sailing, or they may be from a pirate town. There's quite a few pirate towns where I live. I'm actually from a pirate town because I'm from the south of England. There's a few kind of towns that were notorious for pirates, piracy. We're a seafaring nation. More of us probably descended from pirates than we realise. But yeah, so again, pirates could be a connection there. It could be symbolic to you somehow as well. Pirates of the Caribbean maybe for some people. So I hope that was helpful to you, pile 4. Very interesting connection with this person, and I love how it came through with the Lapis Lazuli as well, because this is a stone that resonates with with the third eye chakra, boosts and heals and balances the third eye chakra, which is of course the seat of our clairvoyance and our psychic abilities. So very interesting that those cards would show up with that particular crystal. So that crystal could be relevant to you or to them. Might be nice if you are already friends or in a relationship to gift them something. A piece of lapis I think could be helpful for them as well. They may appreciate that to help develop their own psychic or mediumistic ability. So please remember to like this video if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. Leave me a comment if there's something you'd like to share with everyone. Please remember to stay respectful if you do leave a comment. I will see you very soon. Take very, very good care of yourself. Bye bye. Hello pile 5 and welcome to your reading. You've chosen the pile of cards with the Tiger's Eye crystal heart, which we will pop over here. There we go. Let's take a look at these cards, see what messages we have from your crush, from your person, what they would like you to know. Number 4, authentic truth. Number 11, remembrance. Then we have honeymoon and keep an open mind. Now I'm putting these over here because these cards wanted to come out immediately and I had to pick them before I could even start the reading. So we'll have a look at these as well. So I can move these over here. They wanted to come out straight away without any sort of waiting. They were really quite impatient to come out. So there's a really impatient energy here, whether that's you or whether that's your crush that's actually a little bit impatient to get things moving. So close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Yeah, that is an impatient card. Okay, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Wow. That's very interesting. We also have the honeymoon card here and keep an open mind. Wow, yeah, I think your crush may actually have a crush on you here. Maybe they had a crush on you first and you just didn't realise it. Maybe you've only just noticed them. Maybe you've only just noticed and gone, oh yeah, this person's all right. Or someone said, hey, what about that person over there? And you're like, oh, I hadn't thought of that then. But yeah, why not? Very interesting. With the remembrance card, this is a deeply spiritual card to come out. I mean, this is a deeply spiritual deck, this one, to be fair. Coming out on 11, the number of wisdom, 11, 2, pillars of the temple. Very, very sacred energy coming through. And the triangle in the middle here, which is mirrored in the triangle of the authentic truth. I think this person's a truth seeker. And that could be a spiritual truth seeker. It could be somebody that just really wants to uncover the mysteries of life. They could be a scientist, but I think they have a higher spiritual viewpoint than what we know about science at this point in time. You know, I love science. I find it very interesting, but obviously we have to remember the spiritual aspects of life. Otherwise we're working half blind with one hand behind our back. So it feels there's a very sacred connection here, pile 5. Very sacred. Wow. But I feel like this person, I feel like they want you to know how they feel. I do. I feel like there is an impatience, like they would like to possibly get in a relationship with you. I think they want that, but they also need their freedom. They have stuff to do. But there is this really impatient feeling. I keep going back to it. I keep going back to it. I can't get away from this impatience. But there's this deep love here. So I think for some of you, remember this is a group reading. Okay, so take what resonates for you, take what makes sense for you and leave what doesn't. But for some of you, there's already a deep loving connection here. This person already cares about you very deeply. You know, you may have already had a relationship. This may be somebody that you're already friends with, that already knows you. I feel there's already a deep connection, but there's also a deep spiritual connection with this one, pile 5. And I'm feeling this more than the previous ones, that this is a very deep spiritual connection. And I want to go to the deep water as well, because we're talking about deep as the ocean. And this one's actually on water here. Is that Venice, perhaps? With an angel on a gondola. Your, yeah, the person navigating the gondola for you, gondolier, I suppose. Your gondolier is an angel, and angelic gondolier. Okay. It's a very beautiful energy. I feel it's very kind of high vibrational spiritual energy, this connection as well. And I want to say this person wants to be who they truly are. They want to ascend. They want to do their spiritual work. So there is a connection here, I want to say, with pile 4, not least because we have number 4 on the authentic truth. But I want to say you could feel drawn to watch pile 4 as well, because that person is also very much on their spiritual path, seeking enlightenment, seeking spiritual awakening, seeking spiritual knowledge. This person has a real thirst for truth. I actually feel quite thirsty as I'm saying that, so I'm going to have some of my tea here. I have herbal tea today. It tastes better than it looks. Very, very interesting connection. Already a lot of emotion here from the other person. And yes, I feel like their manner may not be what you're used to. So certainly with the keep an open mind, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Their manner may be a little bit different, or their personality, maybe they come from a different culture that you're not used to, so the way they act feels a little bit different. I'm not talking about their looks necessarily. I feel this is more about actions, which may not be what you're used to. There's kind of an impulsive feel here as well, which, okay, it could be you, but I feel they could be quite an impulsive person. Like, if they want to do something, they just get on and do it. They just, grasp the nettle and do the thing. And to hell with the consequences, because they want to do the thing. It's kind of an Aries feel. There could be a fire sign. They kind of charge in without really thinking about it. Could also be an Aquarius, because they're very spiritual, very, very unusual and different. Aquarius energy, yeah, could definitely be an Aquarius in their big 3. And by big 3, I mean in their astrology, in their sun, moon or rising sign. So let's bring in some more messages here, see what they want you to know. I think this person already likes you. I do. I think this person already likes you. I think they already have feelings for you. I think they fall in love quite quickly. And as a result, they may fall out of love quite quickly. So pay attention to that. Be aware of that. I think like you might need to move quite quickly if you actually want to be with this person. If they ask you out, don't hesitate. Say yes. Don't play games. Don't play games. They won't wait for you. Even though they like you, they won't wait for you. They respect themselves more than that. And they're also on a spiritual seeking mission, I want to say. I feel this person could be a starseed. I feel there's a connection here with Atlantis, Atlantean. They could have a past Atlantean lifetime. You may have had a past Atlantean lifetime together. That may be something that you sense, that you've picked up on for yourself. Feel the triangle in symbolism, the triangle in the circle. Wow, that could be something that shows up for the both of you. That could be something that's very symbolic for you. I mean, certainly in ceremony, in magics and in the occult, the triangle in the circle is it's an important symbol. It is something that we use. So, sweets, chocolates and roses. Well, they can try and be conventional, I suppose. Marriage and divorce. Time apart, distance. Heart healing. Rose quartz. Okay. So rose quartz could be a useful crystal for you. That could also be a suggestion to watch pile 1, which was our rose quartz heart over here. So if that resonates, that might be something for you to think about. Or you might want to get yourself some rose quartz or gift them some rose quartz if you're already friends or in a relationship. Got some nice big pieces of it here to help with the reading. So rose quartz could bring a balancing energy, I think, to this relationship or potential relationship, because you are quite different from each other in a lot of ways, possibly culturally, or at least socially. I think you're different from each other, and rose quartz could really help to grease the wheels, really help to ease the relationship forwards together, for you to come to a greater understanding of each other. I think this person may ask you out quite soon, or I think they may have already done, because I've got sweets, chocolates and roses, which is kind of like, it's almost a childlike energy of not really knowing how to ask someone out and doing it in the most cheesy way possible. Like, I bought you some flowers and some chocolates, will you go out with me? It's kind of cute. It is cute. But they may be trying to be conventional when they're actually not. This doesn't feel like a conventional person. This feels like a person of great depth, very interesting, who is trying to act like a human being. It's almost like they're an alien. So again, starseed energy coming through quite strongly here, or that could be you. Marriage and divorce. Yeah, it does feel like they want a long-term relationship. That is what they want. But I think they may already be divorced. They may have got out of a difficult relationship. So they're not exactly sure what the next one's going to look like, because I feel there's a disappointment from a previous relationship or a previous marriage here. So this could be somebody who's been married and not sure if they want to get married again. Maybe they had a bad experience. Maybe it didn't go well for them. So just to bear that in mind. Time apart, distance on 4610-1. Yeah, this could be somebody who does not live near you, or who needs a lot of freedom and has to travel a lot, maybe for their work, maybe for their spiritual practice they travel a lot, maybe they're going to go and stay in a kibbutz, maybe they're going to go and stay in an ashram in India, you know. It feels like their spirituality is important, but they also have this very dynamic energy which is kind of moving about here and there and everywhere, zoom, you know. So again, it's fire energy, it's you know, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, but I also want to bring in Aquarius because of this kind of bizarre feel. That's such an unusual person, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, not in a bad way. Heart healing. Yeah, I do think they have had to do a lot of heart healing of themselves. I feel that's something they have already done. And it feels like they're kind of just getting back out there now, and they may be a little bit shy about that, even if they seem quite confident in other areas of their life when it comes to romance. They're a little bit like, I want to do this, I'm not really sure how to do this, here's a box of chocolates, do you like me? You know, it's kind of awkward, this hilarious awkwardness that they have. This isn't someone who's very suave or smooth or anything. It's more like bull in a china shop energy when they ask you out, which isn't necessarily going to be as romantic as you might have wanted it to be. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, that could be you again, because this is a group reading. It could be your energy I'm picking up on, but bull in a china shop. It's cute. I like it. It is cute. It's a very dynamic energy. I like this combination. It's an unusual combination. I think if you were to have a relationship with them, it could be quite hard work. I think you would need to be very easygoing. You need to be like a Libra or something, very easygoing Libra, or a Pisces or something, to be able to get along with this. I feel like their ex may have been a Cancer. May have been a Cancerian. They may have been very, very home oriented and been very unhappy that they wanted to travel and go and do crazy things all the time. I think their previous partner was very, very mismatched to them, and that's why they've had to do this healing. I think they really had to question who they were, which is unfair because they're a great person. They really are. They're a very unique person, very unique personality, very fun to be with, very interesting. I think they would always keep you guessing. You never know what's on this person's mind. You would never know what's on this person's mind from one moment to the next. Romance. Cupid's arrow strikes, yes. If they haven't already made a move towards you, I feel that's a strong possibility. If this is somebody that you actually know or are, you know, connected to, actually meet, not just a celebrity you watch on the telly or something. You know, let's be a bit realistic here. Romance, Cupid's arrow. Yeah, there is a potential for something to start here. I think they will approach you. I think that's likely. Something could potentially happen quite soon, and if you want to expedite that, I would say work with rose quartz crystal here to actually grease the wheels to get that moving. But very exciting energy here, very nice. Right, so we've done the exciting stuff. Let's get into a bit more meat here. Get into the more meaty stuff, more maybe a little bit more grounded stuff. That's what I'll say. What are the messages does pile of fives crush have for them? What do they want them to know? Okay. Grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Well, I feel like they take a lot of leaps all the time. They leap all over the place. 43 owl spirit, you can see clearly now. 5 bat spirit, a rebirth is assured. Okay, so the new beginning, the new romance. Yeah, I feel that could be happening soon. Maybe, yeah. I'd say within half a year, within 6 months for this one. I would say, obviously this is a group reading, so take that timing with a grain of salt, but I would say within 6 months, if something's going to happen, it's probably going to happen in 6 months. Yeah, this person would like to take a leap of faith with you. They would like to be with you, but I think because you're quite different people, it's a bit of a leap for them too. This is this is like a trust fall. This is, it is a leap of faith for them to actually approach you because you're very different. But I think they are clear about who you are. All right, they're clear about what they want, and I would say there's a good possibility that it's actually you that they want. Okay, even though you're really quite different in many ways, and I think they will feel like they're going out on a bit of a limb if they, as and when they're able to ask you out, or if you ask them out, depending on the dynamic and what's appropriate between you. Spider spirit, make your dreams real. 47, pig spirit, use your mind wisely. Yeah, I do feel this is somebody, maybe they're ADHD, ADD or something, because I feel like their mind really runs away with them. I relate to that. This is why I don't use jump cuts in my videos, because I really don't need them, because I just talk so fast anyway. And when I do readings, the energy kind of comes tumbling through me, so I kind of relate to how this person, to who this person is. I'm a little bit like that myself. The energy comes tumbling through me. Yeah, they could be somebody that talks quite fast as well. But it does feel with the spider spirit, I want to say like you're kind of like their dream come true. And on 5611, our first card was a number 11, which is underneath here now, which is the one that looks like the Mayan calendar. And I want to go to that number again, because 11 is wisdom, it's the pillars of the temple, it's spirituality, it's religion, it's very, there's a lot of freedom there, a lot of wisdom. 5611 too, so that 11 coming in as well. 56, it's the heart leading the mind. Yeah, so the heart would lead the mind. They are heart-led rather than mind-read. They kind of go with the heart first and their head has to catch up afterwards and make excuses. That kind of person. So again, it's that impulsive energy that can come through with 56. And I think they may actually ask you out, maybe out of the blue, or approach you, or start to connect with you out of the blue, maybe a little bit unexpected. But I do feel like you are kind of what they want. You are the type of person that they want to be with, even if you think, oh, but we're so different, and they like me. Do I need to be different? Do I need to learn how to do meditation to be with them? No, absolutely not. That's their thing. That's okay. They're the crazy grasshopper leaping around. They don't expect you to do it as well. They expect you to be authentic and to be you. So we could have a little bit of an opposites attract, but in a good way. I think their previous partner was opposites attract, but in the wrong way. There wasn't enough common ground. But I think with you, where you might be a bit different, I think your differences will actually complement each other. Use your mind wisely. Yeah, very intelligent person here. And I think they're overthinking this whole situation. So it may be, for some of you, it may be appropriate for you to reach out and sort of, just in a friendship way, just to reach out and connect with them, maybe send them a message to open the door for them, because it really feels like they want to contact you, but they're really, really overthinking here. Yeah, and that could be causing hesitation. That could be causing some real delays here. Yeah, and I think as well, for some of them, if they are quite into their spirituality and religion, they may be wondering of whether you will accept that or not. They could be wondering, will this be good enough for this person, or are they going to think I'm weird? Or, you know, that's probably something they get called a lot, actually, weird. I relate to that again. So, yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic. So I think you could actually help to calm them down by reassuring them. You know, once, if you do get into a relationship with them, they're going to need some reassurance from you that they're okay, that they're good enough, because there is a little bit of a lack of self-worth there. I mean, everyone has that to a point, but there is a little bit of a lack of self-worth. They will do what they want. They will always do what they want. And to hell with the consequences. All right, they are quite a unique person, but sometimes they do need a little bit of reassurance that their partner loves them. So I want you to remember that. They're more sensitive than they appear. So exercise. It's okay to be different. Yeah, worth waiting for. So with the exercise card, I do feel, I said about this person wanting to travel, wanting to rush about and do everything at 100 miles an hour. And it's not necessarily that they are somebody that enjoys physical exercise or physical activities, but it could well be that they are. And if you're not into that, you will need to be okay with them being into it. Okay, you don't have to go with them every time they want to go whitewater rafting or jumping off a cliff or something. But you need to be okay with them doing whatever their crazy pursuits are, because it does feel like they have a lot of energy. They could be a high energy person. Yeah, or at least energetic insofar as they're always on the go, always doing something. It's okay to be different. Yeah, I feel like they will need reassurance from you. Like I was saying, it's okay for them to be different, to be who they are, because they are a little bit unusual. They are a bit different, but they also want to say to you, it's okay that you're different to me. I like that. Okay, you don't have to be the same as me. I don't require that to be in a relationship with someone. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's exactly like me. I want to be in a relationship with someone who's interesting, who's loving, who's caring, who complements me. They're looking for a complementary partner, not for an exact match, if you like, you know, match in a good way. This is a good match, I think. Potentially this is a good match, worth waiting for. I think if you have been waiting for this person to sort their act out and they're just kind of getting there now, I think they will come forwards. I think that's kind of imminent. And I think it will be worth having waited for them if you have kind of been, you know, watching from a distance, waiting for them to be ready or waiting for them to get out of another relationship or something like that. And I think they want you to know. I think it's potentially a very rewarding relationship to be in. I want to say that this person is very rewarding to be in a relationship with. I think they could just sort of shower you with gifts out of the blue just because the things they do could be so unexpected. You know, they might suddenly buy you a pony and you're like, why did you buy me a pet? Well, you said you liked ponies. Oh, okay. So unconventional, I think, is the energy here, but so loving, so kind, so fun as well. And I think they would want you to know that they just are who they are. So try not to judge them, because it's very easy for us to judge others. So let's bring in some charms, see what other messages we have here for you. What pile 5's crush would like you to know. What do we have? We have an angel wing. Oh, that's adorable. Yes, it does feel like love angels are helping you in this situation. And if you need some help, call out to them as well. I want to say there could also be a connection to swans with this person, or somewhere where swans are found. So what's this one? Oh, it's a tiny dolphin. Yeah, it's got some sort of little ball it's holding on to, a little dolphin. I definitely want to go back to the Atlantean connection for this person, dolphin connection. Larimar could be a helpful stone to actually help this relationship as well, which is a form of turquoise that comes from the Dominican Republic. It's called the dolphin stone. Dolphins, again, could be a strong influence in your life or in their life. It maybe you have a dolphin tattoo, or you like to wear a dolphin necklace or something like that, but the dolphin influence is very much there. It's very playful. Again, it's very fast. Dolphins are very, very fit animals. They're extremely fast, very streamlined, very excitable, very fun, and very intelligent. And it's almost like this person is kind of like a dolphin in some ways. Dragon. Wow, we've got the symbol of the dragon coming through. Very powerful, very potent. Possible connection to Wales with the dragon. I want to say Scotland as well, interestingly. Or Celtic, a Celtic nation with the dragon coming through here. Or just, you know, the British Isles in general. Wow. Very, very powerful being, the dragon. Very powerful energy here. I think as a couple, I think you would make a very powerful couple. Just because you complement each other so perfectly, I think you could really achieve a lot together. I think you could go a long way together. Very passionate as well. But these, of course, these charms could mean something individual to you as well, because this is a group reading. So take the elements that make sense for you, leave the ones that don't. And then this wonderful lizard, or perhaps a gecko, we have here with a big curly tail, and this is a symbolic gecko. This isn't a real one, of course, so it could be representative of a sacred site. I think there's a site that actually looks a little bit like this. I'm trying to remember. I think it's in the UK. I can't remember where it is. I saw it recently on a documentary, but I want to say with this one there's a connection to ancient sacred sites for this person, so it could be that they're very drawn to go and visit something in another country, or a very specific sacred site. Very, very interesting. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for you, Pile 5. Please do remember to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please leave me a comment if there's something you'd like to share. I do love to read your comments. Please remember to be respectful and kind if you're going to leave a comment. We're all human beings. Let's be kind to each other. I will see you very soon. You take very, very good care of yourself. Bye-bye.